Hey, let's take a look at Amazon. Last time we looked at them was on 823. They were trading at 135. Now it's at 137. So there is some news. We'll take a look at that and then pivot into the technical analysis to see is 137 a good time to pick this one up. So let's just jump into it. A couple things that came up. Number one, Amazon is preparing discussions with Disney about ESPN streaming, potentially a partnership there. Very early going in that venture, might not turn out to be anything at all, but something that did occur. This is probably the most notable thing. Shopify says its merchants can use Amazon's Buy with Prime option. So Amazon's going to release an app in Shopify's app ecosystem that will give US based merchants access to Amazon's Buy with Prime. Didn't go into any details in terms of what's going to be the trade off there, in terms of is it going to be like $1 per customer, or is Shopify just going to use Amazon's new shipping app, which allowed them to use like a Prime button? Either way, it looks like it's going to benefit both parties. Not sure how much financial impact it will have for Amazon. I'm sure it's going to add up though. Shopify is very large, not as large as Amazon, of course, but that should help Amazon make some money here in the near and hopefully long term future. We also have Amazon adding AI features to Thursday Night Football. They're going to deliver an enhanced viewing experience. Basically, what it seemed like is if you have, I guess, Amazon Prime or whatever allows you to view Thursday Night Football through Amazon, you can get like a special, I think it's like Prime Vision, and you can see special stats that like a normal viewer on without the vision would see. Sounds interesting. I'd be interested in checking that out. But Amazon is also raising free shipping minimums for some customers who don't have Prime memberships. We've seen this before. I didn't really know at the time that it was really a strategy, but it does make sense that Amazon, they'll just give you free shipping if you hit a certain amount of purchase. And I guess it's gone from a lot of places, they've seen it go from $25 minimum to now 35. Apparently, it kind of has fluctuated throughout time. It's just how much they want you to spend, I guess. The article mentioned how at one point it was up to like $50, but then as more competition came in, such as Walmart, it drove it down, and now it's at around $25 to $35. That potentially can help their revenue too, though. So it makes sense strategically if they wanted to boost revenue, they could just say, hey, you spend a couple extra dollars, we will give you free shipping, and it's kind of like a win-win for both people. But yeah, just keep a lookout on that next time you make an Amazon purchase. What's that price level at? Just just interested. And then the last thing before we shift into the technicals, we have Jeff Bezos and Amazon board being sued over their row satellites or just their satellite system. They're accused of ignoring a glaring conflict of interest. So the concerns is that it approved a deal with Blue Origin, which is owned by Jeff Bezos, and obviously that name is very familiar with Amazon as he used to be like the boss there. Uh, and they're concerned that they chose Blue Origin because of that close connection, and they didn't give a proper discussion, and how they didn't include SpaceX in the options. Apparently, they have this big plan to send thousands of satellites uh, into the atmosphere, and they have a couple options that they're going with. Blue Origin is one for a couple trips, United Launch Alliance, and I think there's a third one. And I guess this investor was just like, why wasn't SpaceX involved when they've clearly done things like this in the past and have a strong track record compared to Blue Origin, who maybe doesn't have the strongest track record. And so they just want to know proper procedures are being followed. But I don't expect that to turn into much. But if it does, we will keep an eye out for it. So now moving into the technicals, Uh, Last video we posted, we always take a look at these analysts just to see if the numbers changed. And yeah, something happened last video around like the 20th, 24th or whatever that, I don't know, the numbers got pulled down, but this is what it was essentially last time we looked, which is probably 2 videos ago. And now here we are today. You can see the revenues have pulled down a little bit. So here we have just slightly below 141 billion for the quarter, when last time we looked it was trading out over 141. For the full year, that's also been pulled down about $2 billion. We'll see how this plays out overall. Like for the full for this quarter, just it's gone down slightly. It's still very close. Earnings per share seems like that has been the same, slightly dropped for the current year. Overall, not much of a change, but it did pull back a little bit, but still within Amazon's guidance range, which was like 138 to 143. So it's hovering around 141. So no big changes there. And then down at the bottom, we have just last time we looked at it, it was trading at 135. We were looking for 129. So very close. Wouldn't be opposed to picking it up. But we also noticed resistance at about 135, but our resistance was 167. Also noting a short-term uptrend on this since January, with an accelerated uptrend since June, and to buy the dips on this. So let's just take a look at the technical chart. And not much changed here. We still have that uptrend, and just like I mentioned in around June, it kicked up to this upper level between the blue and the red lines, and I'll zoom in here. And it's just been chopping around that point, continuing the uptrend. We're looking for it to pull back to this green line. It hasn't happened yet. I'm kind of surprised it's been holding out this long, especially because other companies have pulled back a little more aggressively. Right in this range, a lot of companies pulled back to a good buy point. And I guess that is our first spot to pick this one up. If I were to, that would be like the highest. So right now it's like at 135, that blue line. And it did dip below there. We didn't pick this one up, but it was considered. Overall, it's still like fair value. It wasn't at the red line, which at that point I would say resistance. Overall, I still give this one a fair value rating. It could definitely be a little bit higher, considering the top of the range would be at about 140. It's definitely closer to that than where we want it at that green line. We also noted the buy point at 129. That is this really skinny green line that hopefully we can see as I zoom in. A little bit of support there between June and July, where it hovered around 129. So really, if it pulled back to that, that would be the spot that I would first pick this one up. Ultimately, if it continued to pull back to like 122, 123, that would be like the perfect spot. But 129 is really my point right now. I think it will still be available for another, probably easily another month. There's definitely opportunities that it could pull back there. If this uptrend continues beyond that, going into like November, might have to give that one up. But for now, it's definitely still on the table, and I'm willing to wait for it with the realization that there's probably other buys out there. No need to like just sit and watch this one. But yeah, if this pulled back to about 129, that's when I'd be looking to pick this up. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. I guess we mentioned the 167 as resistance. That's this real thick red line up here. If we scroll back, yeah, it's just been multiple points of resistance through like 2021, 2022, and that's a ways away. So I do feel like this uptrend can continue. But yeah, we'll just keep watching it. But for now, that pretty much wraps this up. So quick recap. We have Amazon here trading at 137. As I mentioned, I'm looking at 129. That would be the point that I'd be most interested in picking it up. Also with resistance at 167, which is a ways away. So we'll just there's other little buy spots and resistance points along the way. But those are the most notable at this point for me. We updated the date, of course. Earnings not for another close to 2 months. That short-term uptrend since January, that is still in play. The accelerated uptrend since June, that is still there. Yeah, we're looking to buy the dips. I just want it to pull back more than it has. Uh, but yeah, let me know your strategy if you see it a different way. Uh, yeah, you can leave a comment or questions down below. Otherwise, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.